This is Scott the Fix Guy. Today we have a Samsung stove where the keypad, the touchpad, does not respond to pressing the buttons. A couple of the buttons work, but 90% of them don't. And this usually is a sign that the touchpad's just worn out and it's time to replace it. So these cost about maybe $40 to $60 online, and they're pretty easy to replace. So we unplugged it, pulled it away from the wall, and we just got to take off a couple of Phillips head screws on the back. So you got these couple here. So you can just take 4 screws off, and then you can pull the whole back cover off. I'm going to pull out this ribbon cable. We're going to pull back on these 2 plastic tabs, and then we can pull the ribbon cable out. And then there's 2 Phillips head screws here on the front heat deflector. One here on the left, one on the right. We want to remove those too. Just need a really short Phillips head screwdriver or a 90-degree angle shift driver like this one. Let me get these screws out here in the back. And these are screws that are just holding on the control panel, or the controller. I think there's 6 of them. So we don't want to remove the ones right on the circuit board, but we want to remove the ones on the black plastic frame that holds the circuit board on. So we're going to end up removing the whole console here to work on it. So to do that, though, we have to get the controller off, and it's just got to remove those screws that hold it on. Sometimes on the ribbon cable you can just clean the contacts with an eraser and it'll start working. Tried that on this one, so it didn't help, so I'm going to be replacing the touchpad itself. I got to get the spark module off too. There's a couple of Phillips head screws holding that on. There's also a green ground wire we have to remove. Again, pretty easy because they're just all Phillips head screws. That off. There we go. I'll get this ground wire off. And then there's 4 more Phillips head screws that are holding the console onto the frame. You get those off too. There's actually one in the corner here. I got that. Then there's these 2 on the left and then 2 on the right. There we go. So we should be able to lift it off now. Got it. And then there's a plate holding on the touchpad. It's held on by 3 screws. It's pretty easy. We're just going to zip those out. And the touchpad itself has a sticky back to it, adhesive back that we have to peel off. Here's the part number for the new touchpad. This one lasted, they said, about 6 years before it had trouble. Get these online. I saw the price range between $40 to $60. Okay, we got the new one out, comparing it to the old one. And we're going to mark with a pencil the outside edges of where the old one was, just to give us a good reference as we put on the new one. Use a paint scraper to kind of loosen it up and then just peel it off by hand. Yeah, they're pretty cheap quality. I'm surprised that they would even last 5 years. I think the start and stop buttons are usually the first ones to go out because they're used so often. Throw that old one out, take the adhesive back, or the paper off the back, and then we can use the adhesive side to press against the sheet metal. I'm going to put the ribbon cable through the plate first, and then I'm going to carefully start one end and check it where I put the pencil markings. There we go. We're just going to push that down tight. And then you're essentially done. The next part is just putting everything back together, just in reverse order. So we're going to add this plate back onto the console, and we'll add those screws back in. Just 3 of them. Okay, that's all ready. We'll put the console back on. Put those 4 screws that hold the console onto the frame. 2 on the right, 2 on the left. Put the ground screw back on, and then the spark module. Okay, then the controller. And that one has a lot of screws holding it on. I think, again, it was 6 of them. When you get these symptoms where the buttons don't work, it's hardly ever the controller. If all of a sudden the clock doesn't work, it could be the controller. Or if you notice that the bake or broil isn't working, it could be the igniters. And if the igniters don't fix it, then it could be the controller. But when the buttons don't work, it's almost always the touchpad. So we plugged it in. We're going to give it a little test now. There we go. All the buttons are functioning. Cool. That does a trick. Let's get it unplugged again. We'll finish it up. Put more of these screws in. Some of the screws have these wire keepers, little wire pieces that hold the wire bundle into position. Okay, now we'll put on the back cover. That's pretty easy. It's just going to slide on, and the bottom goes in first, and then we'll put in a couple screws to hold it. There we go. We have these little side pieces go in. Then we have the heat deflector, and that just keeps hot air from the oven from coming up and just frying the controller. It just deflects it. Let's get one screw on the right, one on the left. Just push it back in, get it plugged in, and there we go. Bake's working. Back to normal. So I hope this has been helpful to you, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance. Thanks for watching.